Alright, so I just got back from Tesco and I bought a trout, and I thought I would show you the process that I go through to prepare the trout. It's a fair bit of work involved in it, so I thought I would just do it as a separate video. I want to. Oh yeah, that's what I want. So I'm not actually going to cook this just now. But I'm going to prepare it just now for later on. So when I was in the supermarket, they had some. It's a whole rainbow trout, £5.50 per kilo, £3.40 for this fish. It's a wee bit expensive, I think, actually. What happened to the £1 fish? Can't seem to get them anymore. They had, I think that was a mackerel actually, but they had some mackerel. But what I did was, when I was looking at them, I just I rubbed my finger over the mackerel and I smelt it, and there was a bit of a smell. And then I rubbed my finger on the trout, and it smells of almost nothing. And that's what you want. That means you know it's fresh, nice and sticky and greasy like that. That means it's another sign that it's nice and fresh. When I was doing it, there was an old Chinese boy standing next to me, and he was laughing because he knows the score. The Chinese are right on top of knowing how fresh fish are and stuff, so he knew that I knew what I was doing. Don't let the people who work there see you doing it. They don't tend to like you touching their stuff. So, but yeah, just look for no smell. Just give it a wee rub, and you want it to not smell of anything. I've just bought so many fish before, and they've been a bit smelly, so it's like got to do something to check. So the whole fish, the first thing to do is get the either the back of a knife. You can do it with the back of a knife. You can scrape it, or use a descaler, and you want to descale it. And just give it a scrape, and it's worth the effort in doing this because although the scales are fairly small, when you come to fry the skin, this makes all the difference. Just kind of scraping it against the from tail to head. Yeah, they sell it by weight, but it hasn't been gutted, so that's why it's quite heavy. So you are just paying money for bits that you're just going to throw away. But it'll still be better value than fillets because there's no work going into this. And obviously the supermarket's paid for it as well by weight. Anyway. I think that this is my favourite, certainly one of, I think when it comes to the skin on this is my favourite fish. Salmon skin is very good, but it's a bit thick, can be a wee bit kind of tough, whereas this is really, really good. This is nice and light, well worth the effort. Scrape that. Okay, you want to take the guts out. Not the best job. Just go in and sharp knife right up. Just have your bag ready and just kind of pull everything out that's inside it. Getting my nail into it just to kind of scrape out that bloodline. Most pleasant job, but I quite enjoy doing it actually. So then when it comes to filleting the fish, this is my kind of standard kind of default method. So what you want to do is just go in, at an angle, just behind the gills, right through, and then turn the knife around, and you can feel it sitting on the spine, and then just run it down the spine. Feel it cutting through the small bones, just gentle. This one fillet. Try not to leave too much attached at the top here. You'll get a wee bit of wastage, but it's exactly the same on the other side. And just kind of get it down as low as possible. And I'm just kind of running it across the top of the spine. The blade of the knife is sitting on top of the spine. Just running it down straight out the back. So that's really good. That worked out pretty well. So you can see there's not much flesh left on that at all. I'm not going to do anything with the head or with this at all. It's kind of like not enough to make a stock, so I'm just going to bin that. Now when it comes to these, you want to take off down the kind of the ribs. You want to take these rib kind of bones out. Just kind of get your knife underneath them and run it down. I'm no expert in this at all, and I'm not very fast, but I quite enjoy doing it, so it takes a minute or two, I don't mind. And then you want to look at any fins, you want to get rid of any fins. Cut around there, a wee bit too much off there, but it's okay. And you're just rubbing it to feel any bones. And then, so we can see that there's two fins we've got to deal with here. And then there's some bones along the top here as well, so just go in like that. You can feel kind of bones and stuff along the top here, so I'll take that off. Oh, it's nice and thick, that's really good. And then what you want to do is, I've got these tweezers. When you run your finger kind of down the centre there, you can feel a load of bones. This is the good thing about trout, they pull out. It's called pin boning, and these pull out nicely. You basically can't do this in a mackerel at all, which is a wee bit annoying. You can use a pair of pliers for this as well, just like a wee pair of needle nose pliers, that's good. If we just get a pair, if you don't have these proper tweezers, a pair of pliers is good. Just obviously have a pair of pliers for this job only, and don't put them back in your toolbox, so they'll be stinking. Just make sure you clean them. And you're kind of rubbing from the head down to the tail, and as you do that you can feel it, you can feel them kind of go in as well at this end bit as well. Kind of just push your finger in there and feel. and they've gone down to here, so kind of 2/3 of the way down. So what I'm interested in is getting the most amount of minimum wastage. So, you know, I'm not too, there's just one of them that's buried in there, I just can't seem to get off it. There we go. So it's a wee bit scraggly around the edges, but don't mind. So all I would do is, just to make it easier to fry, just cut it in half, put that in the container, and then exactly the same on the other side. This chopping board that I'm using, although it's a bit small, has got a bit of, it's kind of rough, it's got a bit of texture to it, and that's good because you can see as I'm pushing like this fish is not sliding, the fish is kind of gripping on the board, so that makes life a bit easier as well. Now this kind of fatty bit along here, some people might cut that off just because it's a bit fatty, but I quite like it. Don't want to reduce, I just want to take this, I want to just cut this out and nothing else. Just kind of cut around it. Not the neatest cut, but it's about minimum wastage. Same again, just feel, I don't think there's any fins on this side, so there's no wee fins, so nothing along the top. And then exactly the same. These pliers are pretty good because they're so long, you can kind of pull a few bones out at a time. So obviously if you were buying the fillets they would be more expensive, see I can feel a few going in at the end. If you buy the fillets they're more expensive, but obviously all this work has gone into it by people who are quicker than me obviously, but I don't think they descale, I'm not sure, they might do, but some places they don't descale the fillets, and when you have to come to descale them while they're a fillet they're much more difficult. So that's done. Again, just chop it in half. So put that in the bin. And clean up. So that's how I would prepare a trout fillet. So now it's ready just to be nicely fried, and I think if you've seen the video about the salmon, when I did the salmon fillet, I'm going to do this. I'm going to cook the trout fillet exactly the same way, but this works even better. When you fry it and take the skin off it and then fry the other side of the skin, the frying both sides of that skin of the trout is better than the salmon. The salmon's really good. This trout is really, really good. So that's you. So that is how I would prepare a whole trout, and all ready for nice and ready for frying. So that's done. I'll get back to you with a recipe for that shortly.